Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, February 26. I'm Patricia Vallone and glad to have you with us tonight. Well, once again, the region awakened to a blanket of snow, making it hard to go to work and school this morning. As CTV's Byron Scott reports, it was a messy commute.
It wasn't much, but today's snow did cause quite a mess with the AM commute.
This morning it was kind of busy.
Paramedic Dana Brooks says things didn't simmer down for them until about 10:30.
We had approximately 70 calls for accidents between 6:30 a.m. and now.
That's 70 motor vehicle accidents across the county. 2 of them involved school buses. Each bus, according to police, had 1 student. The good news, investigators say no one on the buses was hurt, and none of the accidents involved serious injuries.
Normal morning for us. We're essential employees. We came here prepared, and we responded to everything effectively.
Enough snow did fall and accumulate throughout the morning to acquire these tools of the trade, and in some cases it meant going to Plan B.
I had to take a detour.
That detour added about 20 minutes to Eddie Adams' ride.
I usually jump on 50 from Bowie to come down to teach at the Gold's Gym down here. Gridlock. So I had to take the back roads, come through Church Road, down Lotsford Road, and just kind of creep my way in.
Along the way, she saw some of those fender benders Captain Brooks talked about.
I saw a couple of people slide right into fences and trees. Not a good morning for a few people.
That said, not everyone had it bad on the roads.
No trouble at all. The streets were great. The roads are great, number one. Even the side streets are great. So had no problem at all.
By noontime today, the sun was out, most of the snow was gone, and the morning commute was but a memory. Although it's fair to say most folks are looking forward to spring. In Largo, Byron Scott, CTV News.
And the State Highway Authority says it will have crews out overnight to prevent roads from refreezing tomorrow morning. Well, if you were on the roads this morning, your commute was probably, well, let's face it, a bit of a challenge. Accidents, traffic, and unsalted roads are just some of the hazards of driving in the snow. The State Highway Administration is offering some important tips to help motorists stay safe. First, keep your phone out of your hand while driving and make sure your seatbelts are on. Also, don't forget to turn on your headlights. It's the law. And finally, clear all snow and ice from your vehicle before heading out. Well, it's an issue that is near and dear to First Lady Michelle Obama's heart, reducing childhood obesity. And today, a state delegate, along with a newly formed coalition, took aim at the problem. Several bills have been introduced in an effort to keep kids healthy.
If your kids are like most, you know what a battle it is to get them to eat right at home, let alone at restaurants and other places where they have all that stuff to pick from on the menu.
It is simply the right thing to do.
Under a bill introduced by Joseline Pena-Melnick, that could change.
It basically says that when you offer a child menu, that you do not offer soda. You offer low-fat milk and water.
While food service facilities could still sell sodas and sugar-sweetened drinks, they just wouldn't be on the children's menu. The measure's aimed at reducing childhood obesity, which has more than tripled in the past 3 decades, according to the Centers for Disease Control. Eileen Robertson, a mother of 3, likes the idea.
So if it's not available, it's a message for them. And I think for parents, I think it's an educational piece. I think when you go into grocery stores, when you go into restaurants, and the food that's available isn't necessarily healthy, people that aren't studying it like I am, they wouldn't necessarily know that.
But Ellen Valentino with the Beverage Association thinks the focus is in the wrong place.
The fact of the matter is restaurants, and when you go to restaurants, there's a whole host of choices that are available to not just kids, but to parents, to any size customers actually. And at the end of the day, interfering when people are out eating, putting mandates, prohibitions, and making certain foods cost more than others is probably the wrong direction.
I know they're saying that, but you know what?
Despite the criticism, Delegate Pena-Melnick says in the end, it's about keeping kids healthy.
When you weigh it and you balance it, it's the health of our children that are the most vulnerable that need to be protected.
Denise Douglas, CTV News.
Hearings were also held on 2 other issues related to children today. One requiring state agencies or schools to bear the burden of proof in due process hearings related to children with disabilities. And in the second, individuals convicted of drunk driving in cases in which minors are being transported would have to complete an ignition interlock program. Well, in a race that some politicians are running for the first time, one former Prince George's County delegate is running to get back what she once had. Tiffany Alston, a Democrat, filed her candidacy papers Tuesday evening, seeking her old District 24 seat. Alston pleaded guilty in June 2012 to misconduct in office and the theft of $800 from her delegate account. Then, in October of the same year, she pleaded no contest to a charge that she used campaign money to pay for some of her wedding expenses. She was removed from office in 2013 after only serving 2 sessions of her 4-year term. Well, it seems like just talking about marijuana can take people highly out of their element. Annapolis Police Chief Michael Priesthoop is apologizing today for citing a false story while testifying against several bills that seek to legalize or decriminalize marijuana in Maryland. The fake story claimed that 37 people died on the day the drug was legalized in Colorado. It apparently came from the dailycurrent.com and later turned out to be a hoax. Well, Maryland's High Court throws down the gavel against a ground rent law. The decision rules that a law preventing homeowners from losing their property in ground rent cases and receiving no proceeds from its sale is unconstitutional. The ruling came down yesterday. Ground rent is a payment made by a property owner to a person who owns the land. The practice is conducted in Baltimore and a few other parts of the state, but is rare nationwide. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.